I was really excited to hear a government report on UFOs was being submitted to Congress. And for months leading up to the report, declassified videos were showing up online in the news. Sit-down interviews with fighter pilots were on major networks disclosing encounters with unknown aerial phenomena. I set out to conduct my own think tank on UFO phenomena.
I think it just came right in through my antenna.
And yeah, maybe we won't have all the answers at the end of the day. But by asking the right questions, maybe we can shed some light on this age-old question. What lies out there beyond the stars?
They release these Navy pilots or these military pilot videos, right? Which I'm sure everyone here's seen. And
Yeah.
I tell you, man, that's when I got goosebumps, because I'm like, I've always known that they do have to, something has to be existing out there, right? For so many people to have so many experiences and see and actually like witnessed it or been there, or some people claim to have been like, what's the word when they take them, like abducted?
Taken.
And probed.
Yeah, I know that's you guys' biggest fear. So I've always believed that there's something out there, right? But when those videos were released by the government, that they're actually acknowledging it, and then you see and you can hear in the voice of these military professionals being freaked out, and you can hear in their excitement that they're witnessing something out of this world. But I think it's the work of the devil. I think they're demons. I think they're spirit creatures.
I mean, I've always been fascinated with aliens and watching all those shows, and of course I've always looked out in space and you see all those stars, and then you always say every one of those are a sun, and it's like and they have their own universes, and so I kind of think to myself like, it's hard for me to believe that we'd be like the only ones out of all that mass out there that's just sitting out there. You know what I mean? I was it was like probably like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was going from Las Cruces, New Mexico, and getting into Arizona to Phoenix. So in between that, I was driving, and I was by myself at the time. I was just trying to get back home. It was kind of unusual because I was riding, I saw this weird, unusual like light that kind of came. It's kind of weird because it came down to the right, and then it kind of sped up and went really fast along the side, kind of along the side of the road. But behind the road, there was like these trees, like kind of bushy trees, and you can see like just flickering all the way down. And I kept looking at it and wondering like, what the heck is that light, And then I saw the light stop like at a distance, and then it went to the left, and then it took off. And I thought I was seeing things, but the only thing is as I was going down the freeway, I saw a bunch of other people, or not a bunch of other people, but there's at least a little group of people that stopped on the side of the road, and I was like, and I know they saw the same thing that I saw. And I guess they must have just got together and try to talk about it, but I didn't bother to stop because I was kind of freaked out about it. First of all, kind of freaked me out, and I was just like, I'm just gonna keep going because it's kind of late too. But it did kind of freak me out, when I saw that.
Was that more rural, like in between cities, like more deserty?
No, it's in the desert. It was more like out in the desert. It was just a single blue light, it was crazy. It was really fast. The light was just, it wasn't like it was, how can I say it? It wasn't like it was, I was going along with it with the car, kind of like, but it was going fast, quicker along the side, and then it just kept going on. That was kind of weird, kind of scary too, though, because I was by myself heading back, from Cruces to Phoenix.
Are you sure you weren't abducted?
Not right. I kind of wonder about it. I wonder about E.T.'s relative. But that was my encounter, though. Those are the two things that I have to say that those are, and they have stuck with me for many years, and and I've always, and it was just a weird feeling,
I have a question for you. Was there any other kind of like feeling? Did you sense like any kind of?
Well, I think I was more kind of confusion. I was just trying to figure out what, it's kind of a shock, kind of a confusing. It's just something you've seen that you never seen before,
Yeah.
and you're trying to figure out what it is, and why is this happening? And but then after a while later, and then it kind of hits you a little bit like, okay, like where is this gonna lead to,
But I asked that question about if you had like any feelings or any kind of like vibe, because I think we heard it more than once where they talked about how people get like an overwhelming sense of like peace, that they feel like it's like a positive experience, and that it seems like that's like a recurring thing where people, and it's probably people who are looking for them and are trying to communicate with the aliens, UFOs, but they keep talking about how there's like just a large sense of peacefulness that comes from the communication or the vibe that they feel around when they see the sightings or when they see those lights, you know?
For me, it was uh, it was pure fear, man. Pure fear. I call it an unidentified occurrence, because I really can't say I seen something uh, alien or extraterrestrial, but I can say that what I seen, I couldn't judge what it was. I was in Utah hunting, and we get out there real early in the morning. I'm talking like 4 in the morning. We start hitting the mountains, and we're hiking and hiking, and more times than not, you even if you had because we're low tech, so we don't use GPS, so we kind of just hike in the direction we kind of figured out. So at a certain point, you're like, I don't even know where I'm at anymore. I think I'm gonna stick here, and I'm just gonna wait till the sun rises and kind of look over the valleys and the draws and everything around in the surrounding area. And I was sitting there waiting. I seen a silhouette of the mountains across from me, and I seen a little light just show up out of nowhere, and it started bouncing around. And I was like, let's just start watching it for a little bit. And then it started kind of zigzagging downwards. Then it started coming back up, and I initially thought, well, it's probably a quad, because quads can be out here because it was one light. It was just one solid light. I said, quad could be out here. He's probably going on a trail trying to get up to wherever he's going. And so I just watched it for a little bit. Then it would disappear, and all of a sudden it would reappear and start moving around in uh, erratic path. So that's why to me it was like, wow, man, if he's really on an ATV, I mean, he's off-roading tough. You know what I mean? Like it was bouncing around a lot, going crazy, and I'm like, I don't know, man, that's kind of weird. And all this, mind you, I didn't hear anything. I couldn't hear anything. It was dead, dead silent. So I was like, wow, man. I said, I wonder how far away he is if I can see his light, but I can't hear anything, you know? And so as I started watching it, it disappeared for a while, and then it reappeared, and it seemed like it closed the distance between that mountain and me real quick. It was huge, and I was like, whoa, that thing's like really close. Now it's hard for me to judge because I don't know how it's a light, so I couldn't see how big this thing is to be like, how far did it really move towards me or whatnot. But it looked like it gained minimally twice, if not three times the size of a light, and it seemed more than anything like it was going straight towards me. I've been around in the desert, riding bikes and everything, and I've seen lights from quads, and it didn't look like this, man. It looked different. It didn't look like it was a pinpoint, and light erased from a point. It just looked like a solid circle, like a sphere, solid. It didn't look like it was faded at the ends, like it was projecting. It was a solid circle, and it was coming towards me like this. And I was like, oh man, so the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I started getting nervous. I started getting scared. And I had my rifle on me. My initial reaction, because it's still pitch black out there, is I took my gun off safety because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. But, I don't know. I just got to be prepared for anything because I was getting freaked out, to say the least. And as it started getting closer and closer, I was just like, please use a small probe, please, because I don't know what their intentions are, but anything big is not my style. So anyhow, I kind of just sunk in behind a rock, and it disappeared again. From doing the little research and those shows that you had referenced to us, I had seen that they could feel your vibe because all this stuff I'm not speaking it; it's in my head. You know, So maybe at the point when I started freaking out, they decided, hey man, this ain't the guy to touch bases with right here. This guy's freaking out. He's gonna shoot us first time we get out of this little vehicle. Right, he's gonna shoot us. You know. So this guy's too archaic. Caveman right here. We're out of here. And it just disappeared. I never seen it again until the sun came up. But by this time, I was already freaked out, man. I was like, wow, that really happened.
Mhm.
And then the rest of that time in the morning when the sun came up, I stood. It's funny because I'm hunting for deer, and I'm sitting there looking at glasses with my glasses, binoculars as we call the glasses, and I'm glassing the whole mountain across from me, looking for a quad, which I never seen. I don't know, man. Seemed pretty weird to
What
me.
was the whole ordeal? How long would you say? Like how many minutes or?
I would say 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, I was freaked out. I was freaked out for a long time, but I'm like, where am I gonna go, dude? Where am I gonna run to? I don't even know where I'm at. It's
Yeah.
dark. I don't know where I'm at, so I can't really go nowhere. And what am I gonna do? Run to get a gun? I got a gun on me, so there ain't nothing else I could do but just stand here and see what happens. You know what I mean? And so for me, it wasn't something like pleasant, like, oh, you know, here comes an alien. I was like, if it is an alien, I'm not feeling it, man. I'm not feeling it. I said, you know, I don't know, but nah, man, I didn't like the way he came at me. I didn't
Hilarious.
like.
Definitely scary. Like I told Ruben when we watched Fire in the Sky, I'm the type like that likes true crime. So like things have to be true for me to have to for me to have for it to have my attention. And because it was a true story,
Mhm.
for me in my mind, I was like, I never thought that something like that could scare me. Yeah, it's surprising. Yeah, it shocks you. Yeah, ooh, it gives you a little bit. But to scare me, this movie was like a terror movie for me.
And
Yeah,
his friends, he disappeared. He was gone.
yeah, but I
So
don't think it was idiotic of him, don't you think? Like even if he was attracted to it, like see what look at it from a distance with your friends.
that when the guy ran towards it, maybe it was magnifying to him,
Yeah,
to where other of us were like, I'm getting the hell out. I'm running out of this place. Goodbye. Or it's
exactly.
like that. It's like those group of people that stopped to see what that light was about. That's the kind of feeling I felt like, oh, I don't want to stick around there because whatever that thing comes back
You're gonna keep
around
driving
or
on,
whatever, I was like, it kind of freaked me out. And these people, like, you know, I'm like, I'm leaving. You know, I'm just gonna keep on driving. But I could tell you one thing, it kept me awake. It kept me
Peter,
awake all the way through back home.
If you were presented with the opportunity that a being of a higher state of mind, technology, and they allowed you one one question that you could ask them, and they would answer it, what would it be?
Well, I would ask them where they're from.
There you go. That's pretty
I would
valid.
ask them if there's another place that exists besides this place here.
Yeah.
And if you know what I mean, and if you know that would be my main question. You know, I think for me.
And can I get a ride?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Can I take a look at it?
Now, would you be disappointed if they said 39th and commercial?
Uh, yeah, I think I would be a little bit.
How about you, Anna?
so if this was a higher form of life that, let's say, are you proposing that they're like all knowing? So like they would have an answer for me?
All knowing. Well,
Okay.
for us, they would be all knowing. Yeah.
Okay. I would ask, where does the energy of a person go when they die? So like we know that our body dies, but there's an energetic, that's what keeps us going and moving and stuff. And some people call it heaven. They think that a person goes to heaven and they're like the whole person there, but I don't believe that, because part of who I am is my body. So if that's gone, where does this energy go? Where does this electricity of my life force, where does it go?
Would you be bummed out if they said, that's why we're here to refuel? We use you to power our ships.
I would be so bummed out, because I picture like, you know, where there's like where there's people being made and stuff. I feel like our energy goes into little slots that are assigned to us for the future somehow. So I would be super bummed out if my energy when I die, where I think that it's like so purposeful and unique, goes into the gas of a spaceship. You know, I'd be pissed.
How about you, Ru? What
I
would
think
be
I
your
would ask,
question?
I would say, Well, it asked for an explanation rather. You know what I mean? It had to be more than just a question. But I would ask them to explain the relationship or the overlay between the religion of our earth, the different religions, and their existence. How did that interaction happen? To explain what we know and we believe, because if they're going to say, you know what, it was all just us, and there's, we're all connected, or maybe we're not all connected, and they're like, you're just a meat sack, like how much of what your interaction with us is documented in our religions versus how much, is separate from you guys, you know what I mean? Like if they said it was all us, I'd be kind of disappointed, but also like, you know what I mean? I could do whatever I want. There's no, moral obligations to anything. I'm just here to.
That's all he wants. He wants someone to tell him that he could do what he wants without feeling guilty, or that there is no hell, because then he could be like, party time.
Party time.
I'd want to know the relationship in the world, because what if they did say, oh, well, you know what? All the demons that they're talking about, or even the Egyptian gods, like those are us, and those were some bad guys. They came around, they started a lot of trouble on a lot of planets, and we had to chase them out. And that's why we keep coming back here, like the UN, and we're trying to keep peace on this planet. Like I want to know the history of their relationship with us, and even more particularly because of my faith, like where does that intersect? Does it intersect? I just want to know that stuff, because if they're like, you know what, no, we didn't have very much to do with any of that stuff. Maybe we built those pyramids, but besides that, people kind of took their own ideas upon themselves, and be like, well, okay, I understand, kind of.
For me, I'm kind of like a cheat. I have too many questions, and I love to learn anything and everything. So I want to learn as much. I would want to try to get as much knowledge out of these higher beings, as much answers that I could get out of them that I possibly ever could. So my question would be simple, but it all depends on their answer. Can I go with you? Because if I go with them, they're going to show me all kinds of stuff that I've never seen. I'll be able to learn how they did this and do that. And if so, I'll be able to come back and visit my family back in time and say, hey, check this out. I'm the new guy on the block. Make miracles happen,
I'll tell you
if they know, then I'm just back where I was at. On podcast.
You'd be like, can I go with you? And can I start a taco stand?
That's it, dude.
It's going to be a hit.
Yeah, that's exactly. You hit it right there, man. I think if there's one food that would go universal, it'd be tacos, man. I think they'd be eating tacos on every galaxy in the world, man. They'd be like,
you're making me hungry. Now I want tacos for dinner. Don't mention the T word, because game over.
Yeah. Hey, and then they wonder why they find all those mutilated cows and stuff, in the cornfields, because they're getting their corn for the tortillas and the cows for the carne asada.
They're like, you'd be like, somebody cut this cow's tongue out. And one was making lengua.
That's it, man.
Lengua. So I have a theory that I've talked to Ruben about, which is in that UFOs are unidentified flying objects, right? So nobody can say what this is. So my theory, I feel, is as valid as anyone else's. And if you know me, you know that I hold the Bible as an authority. I believe that aliens, or what we perceive as aliens or UFOs, are the work of spirit creatures that can turn into anything, because they're a higher form of species, in that they're not physical like us, right? So they could do all of those things. And those, we know they're among us. And in some instances, I've heard people call them shapeshifters. That's a term they use. They can basically transform into anything that they want, do whatever is in their agenda to make us believe, And that's why I think
is this spirit creatures or aliens?
I'm saying the spirit creatures are aliens.
To go along with what you're saying, is not Well, how I would like to see it is that they're not so much spiritual and magical, is their technology so far beyond us. We believe it's a spirit. It's magic. They cured me. Oh, they made this miracle happen. When it's really just super technology.
Let's just say that the aliens were their own form. They were not spirit creatures. They were just their own form of weird, advanced life physically. That there was a physical place where they lived in the universe. Okay, why wouldn't they have already taken over our planet? You know, they're not learning from us. If they're a higher species, they're a higher form of life. They're not learning from us. You know.
Yeah, I personally think that any and all alien ships that we see visit us aren't here to mingle with us. They're not here to study us. As far as I'm concerned, I don't believe any of that. I believe they're just checking up on the planet. They're scientists, just checking how the planet is doing for itself on the Earth level, not for what's on the Earth. It's like this. It's like trying to make an alligator a pet and trying to teach them not to be aggressive when you dangle a piece of chicken in front of it. It's going to snap on it if it's hungry. So they see us as a violent race. And I think that they're coming down here just to see where our technology's at. Because they're like, if these guys get to the technology that we have, they're all about what is it called, sovereignty, having the country together, because the world has yet to do that, right? We're not even that. So we're united as a world. We're not even united as a whole yet. We fight them against each other, and who's the best? What's the best religion? What's the best color of skin? What's the best everything? So they're thinking if these guys' technology gets too far ahead of them before they realize they're one with the universe, one mind, one spirit. We're all the same thing. We got to knock them back down. Because if we let them out there, they're going to try to run the universe. They're going to go out there and be like, this galaxy's ours, bro. This galaxy's ours too. This is all our area. It's all USA, USA. This galaxy's ours now. This galaxy's ours. And we're going to go like tyrants. So we're going to be the people that we fear. We're going to be the guys out there trying to take over other civilizations. And they know that because of our demeanor, what's in our head. So they're watching us only for the fact that they're like, look, if they evolve intelligently as fast as they do technologically, we can work with that. But if they still fighting amongst each other, but yet now they're ready to jump in a different dimension, well, unfortunately, we got to get rid of them. Because we can't handle it when they get too powerful. Because they're not like us. They're not super intelligent. They don't understand that there's no need for violence. We're just sharing information, sharing the universe with each other.
Could mankind learn from a superior species? Is humility in man's skill set? Is mankind ready to live beyond our own limited reality? Before looking to the skies, perhaps we should take a moment to look within. If you enjoyed our panel today, like and subscribe for more content like this. This is Ruben of Posse Cafe reminding you to be kind and have fun, okay? We're going to run out of time right now. Everybody, you okay to log back in just for one more session?
As long as Hugo doesn't get abducted in the meantime with his little...
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.